Hey everyone, you are welcome back to my YouTube channel. I want to say thank you for joining me into this tutorial. Today I shall be showing you how to draft a basic bodice. And to draft a basic body, the measurements you'll be working with are your shoulder, bust, waist, hip, apex to apex, which is normally called nipple to nipple, your armhole, and the length of your bodice. Right, as you can see here, from this is the starting line, okay, which is the shoulder line. Shoulder, let me put it that way. So I will take my vertical measurement, that is the measurement through the body from the shoulder down to the length of your bodies. Okay, so the first one here is my shoulder line. Then I'll be taking my bust line. My bust line is 12. My bust line is 11. Then I added half an inch to it. Then my waist is 18. I added half an inch to it, making 18 and a half. My hip is 26. I added half an inch to it, making 26 and a half. Then I'll connect all the dots together. Then the next thing we are going to do now is to place my neck width. The standard neck width for average people or for everyone is 3 inches. Okay, but I'll be making my 4 inches because I'll be using this bodice to make a top for myself. So I'll place 4 inches. So from this folded edge and sorry, before I start, I place my pattern paper on fold with the biggest part of my body, which is the hip. Okay, so from this folded edge, I will be taking my neckline, which is 4 inches. Then from there again, I'll move in and take my shoulder. My shoulder is 16 divided by 2. That gives me 8. I'll be adding half an inch to it. That makes it 8 and a half. I will place it here. So from there, I will come down by 1 inch for shoulder slope. Then I will connect it to this neck width. Then from this folded edge too, I will measure 8 and a half because I want everything to be equal. Okay, I will measure 8 and a half. I will stop there. Then from this shoulder's armhole depth, okay, and how do you get your armhole depth? You take your measurement, you run it around your upper arm, or you use this formula, okay, your bust circumference divide by 6 plus 1.5, okay. So whatever you get, you place it. For instance, mine is 48, and I divided by 6 plus 1.5. That gives me 9.5. So I will place 9.5 on this particular point. Then I will connect it. I will connect it to the shoulder slope. Then I will run the line. This will now be my chest line or upper chest. So from this folded edge, I will take my apex to apex, which is normally called nipple to nipple. My apex is 9 inches. Divide by 2. 9 inches divided by 2, that is a 4.5. Then I'll be adding half an inch to it. That makes it 5 inches. I'll place 5 inches here because I'm assuming this is my fabric now. Okay, but if you don't want to use the pattern paper, you can as well leave it on 4.5. Okay, then I'll connect it. I will take it down 5 inches. 5 inches. Then I'll connect all the dots together. Then from this hip line, remember this is our hip now, this is our waist, this is our bust, and this is our upper chest. Right, so from this hip line I'll go up by 2 inches because this is the front bodice. I'll go up by 2 inches. Then from this waistline I will take my dart width, which is a half an inch on both sides. You take half an inch on the right, then you take half an inch on the left. Then you connect it together like so. Then from this bust line, you move down by 1 inch or half an inch. Reason be that to give room for the bust, okay? Then you connect it to the 1 inch. Then, having done that, from the armhole line, remember it was a 9.5, so we are going to look for the center. 9.5 divided by 2. With my calculation, I will have a 4.25, which is somewhere here. So from there, I will move out by 3/4. For average or for standard, is a 3/4. For women, 3/4. But for kids, you can take half an inch. So I'll be taking a 3/4 here, which is here. Then having done that, from the upper chest I will take my bust circumference, which is 12 inches, and I will add half an inch to it for his. That makes it a 12.5. Then I'll place it here. So I'll connect this point to this, then this to this. You connect this bust circumference, this 1/4 of your bust you place here, you connect it to this one. Then you now connect this to this upper parts. So from the shoulder line, I'll be taking my neck depth, which is 4 inches. Yeah, let me make it 4 inches. I don't want it too deep. Then I'll connect the line to the neck width. Then I'll give it a curve. You can give it any shape you want, okay? Then from this, we'll now place our circumference now. Remember, we have placed that of a upper chest. So for the bust, whatever you take here, you place it here as well. So remember the circumference, the bust circumference is 12 inches. So I'll place it here. Then I'll be adding a 1 inch to it for that, making a 13. Then for the waist, I will place my waist circumference. The 1/4 of my waist is 11 inches plus 1 inch for the dart width. Remember, it was half an inch on both sides, making 1 inch. So that makes it a 12. Then from the hip line, I'll place my one quarter of my hip, which is 12 and a half. Then I will add half an inch for his. Okay, so 12 and a half plus half an inch, that makes it 13. I'll place it here. At the upper part here, I will add half an inch for allowance. And I'll connect it together. I will also connect all the measurements we took here together. Then you curve this in. Then the hip. So from the waistline, to avoid the sharp edge, you blend it together. On the hip line, if you are making a top or shirt and you want to give it a curve here, you can go up by 1 inch. Okay, so let me just give it a half an inch here. Then you connect it to this down parts. So I think we are done with the front piece now. Then I will cut it, then we'll proceed to the back. Having done that, then we'll now place our allowance, seam line allowance, 1 inch. If you are cutting it directly from your fabric, add your allowance. So this is how it's going to look after cutting it. I left this part because I may not need this curvy area, but I just use this as an illustration. Okay, so we'll cut the back now. So I've placed the back bodice now. I've transferred everything I did at the front on it, and the only difference here is the line you are seeing here, which is the zipper line. Okay, so and there's no bust line here. Okay, only the chest line, because the same thing as the bust. Okay, so and also I've placed my shoulder slope, my neck width, which is 4 inches, my armhole depth, which is 9.5. So from this armhole depth, I will take the middle part of the armhole, which is 4.25, and I will place my bust, 1/4 of my bust here, which is 12.5. Okay, remember it was 12 and I added half an inch to it for ease. So from this line you are seeing here, I will take my apex to apex, okay, which is 5 inches. I'll take it and connect it. Connect it. So from this chest line, I will come down by half an inch. Then on the hip line, remember this is the back piece. On the hip line, I will go up by 1 inch. Then on the waistline, I will take half an inch for the dart width. I will take half an inch on both sides. Then I'll connect it to the upper parts. Then take it to the down part again. So the next thing I will do now is to place my waist circumference. My waist is 11 inches plus 1 inch for the dart, making 12 inches. I'll place it here. Then for the hip, it was 12 and a half plus half an inch for his, making 13 inches. Then I'll connect it. Then to avoid sharp edge, you blend this part together. Then for the armhole depth, I'll connect this chest circumference, my bust circumference to these points. So for the neck depth, I will come down by 1 inch, which is the standard for everyone. Then I'll curve it. Right, having done placing all the measurements, so for the zip line we are going to eliminate the bulge. And how are we going to do that? From this folded edge, I'll be going in. Remember, the zipper allowance is 1.5. So from this folded edge, I will go in by half an inch. Then this half an inch, I will connect it. I'll just blend it slightly to this chest line, like this, slightly. Can you see that? Then I will take it to the hip line as well. Right, so from the original line of the zip line, I will move in, okay, by half an inch, just to replace what we took from here to this place. So I will go in from this original line. I will go in by half an inch. Then I will repeat same here. Then I will take it to the chest line. To the hip line as well. We are done. So this is our new zip line now. So we are going to eliminate this part. So by the time you are done attaching the zip, it's going to come out perfect. Right. So I've added the seam allowance 1 inch. Okay. That's it. So this side is going to look. You see the part now. So guys, I think we have come to the end of this tutorial. And if found helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to encourage me to do more. Also, give me a thumbs up, share this video. I want to see your comment in the comment section below. And if you have not pressed your notification bell, kindly do so to get notified. Thank you. Bye.